walk in the park today, talk about some NFL football. Draft is only 2 weeks away, guys. 2 weeks away from the draft. Gotta wipe this little thing clean. But yeah, guys, NFL fans, we're only 2 weeks away from the draft, man. 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away, Bird Gang. They put out a video today on the Philadelphia Eagles, some of the prospects that the Eagles could be circling early in the draft, right? So the top 30 visits are starting to be released to the public. So as they're released, you kind of see what positions NFL teams are looking at, kind of what players NFL teams are looking at. Kind of narrow your scope on like potential people that could be drafted. Eagles fans, they just brought in TJ Sanders and they brought in Trey Amos, the cornerback, right? So a lot of different people there coming in for the Philadelphia Eagles as we get closer and closer to the draft, man. 2 weeks away, I'm going to be live streaming the entire draft on draft day. We're getting closer and closer, and the more we look at it, the more looks like Cam Ward's going to go number 1 to the Titans. And I think Shedeur Sanders is going to slide a little bit. I don't know if the Giants or the Browns take Shedeur Sanders, man. I think that you want to take a generational talent, and you don't know if Shedeur Sanders is going to be it, right? So for me, the Browns are probably going to go Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter maybe, something like that. And the Giants are going to take whoever the Browns don't take. Could the Browns potentially move with some other team like the Jets or the Raiders that want to move up? I don't think that's what happens. I think the Browns are going to take Travis Hunter. I really do. And that leaves a decision for the New York Giants, right? Do they go Shedeur Sanders? Do they go, Abdul Carter? He's on the board as well. Pairing up Abdul Carter with Dexter Lawrence on an already formidable line with Brian Burns, that could be a pretty potent defensive front seven, right? So the Giants could definitely, bypass Shedeur Sanders and make a move for a guy like Abdul Carter, right? I think that's a very serious potential. And then that leaves the Patriots at 4 with the decision as well. Do they go offensive line? Do they go wide receiver? There's a lot of places the Patriots could go, right? New head coach Mike Vrabel is a defensive-minded guy. What's up, Wayne? Welcome to the chat. Yeah, I mean, it really depends. This whole draft depends on what the Browns and the Giants do at 2 and 3. Right? I think it's a huge deal to see if Shedeur Sanders slides or not. And then, you look at Shedeur Sanders. Recently, he's been getting mocked to the Saints at 9. That could be a possibility for Shedeur Sanders, right? Or maybe he falls to 21 to the Steelers. That could be interesting as well, right? So it'll be a lot of fun to see where Shedeur Sanders ends up, right? We're closing in on 15K, guys. We're getting closer and closer to 15,000. We're at 14,907. Only 93 more subscribers, so 15,000. So thank you, guys. Yeah, man, that's what we do here on JL Day NFL Show, man. We just chop it up, Wayne. What's up, Deep Space? Welcome to the chat. Yeah, we're talking some ball, man. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm like 99% sure that the Titans are going to take Cam Ward. Brian Callahan, the head coach of the Titans, him and Will Levis were like screaming at each other on the sidelines a bunch this year. I think that experiment with Will Levis is over, right? So Cam Ward looked great in his pro day. He just looks like, he's pretty legit. Oh, thanks, Wayne. I appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, so I definitely think that Cam Ward goes number 1. And then at number 2, what do the Browns do? The Browns front office has said that they like Travis Hunter as a wide receiver. So that makes a lot of sense. But they don't have a quarterback either. And they haven't really done anything. I expect the Browns to maybe go Travis Hunter at 2 and then potentially trade back into the first round. Could maybe take Shedeur Sanders or, one of the other quarterbacks, man. There's a couple quarterbacks, Jackson Dart. He could be interesting. Jalen Milroe could be interesting, moving up into the first round so you get that 5th year of team control, right? So that could make sense for them, And then we had the Giants at 3. Brian Daboll, the head coach of the Giants, and Joe Sheen, the GM. There's not a lot of string left on that rope, right? So they got to make a move, a big move. So could, bringing in Abdul Carter really make that defense one of the best front sevens in football? That very well could be the case. And then you hope that Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston can get you some wins, I think by them bringing in Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, I just don't see them going quarterback early in the draft. Maybe round 3, round 4. Maybe a guy like Riley Leonard, Dylan Gabriel, the kid from Ohio State, Howard. Maybe they go that route. But bringing in both those guys, I don't think they're going to... Then what? Shedeur Sanders would be like the number 3 quarterback? I don't think that's... Nah, dude, I'm in LA. Deep space, I'm in LA, man. Yeah, so I don't really think the Giants are in play for a quarterback early in the draft. I think the Giants are going to maybe go Abdul Carter. And now the Patriots are on the board. And all the blue chippers are gone. Maybe they go Tet McMillan. They need a number 1 wide receiver. But honestly, I think Matthew Golden might be better than Tet McMillan at the end of the day, man. So, I love Matthew Golden. I think he's super talented. He's like the best separator in this draft class by far, in my opinion. His ability to get separation is like no one else in this draft class. So that could be very valuable for the Patriots, right? And Matt Golden's not obviously a big X wide receiver like a guy like Jaden Higgins or Tet McMillan, but I like Matthew Golden, man. I think he's a stud. I love Matthew Golden. And then we got the Jaguars at 5. They probably go Mason Graham. They need defensive tackle help desperately. Josh Hines-Allen looks pretty good as a defensive end. But, that D-line is not super deep, especially at the defensive tackle position. But I wouldn't rule out them doing something crazy on offense. Oh, thanks, Deep Space. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I just try to chop it up, talk some ball with you guys, Get ready for the NFL draft. It'll be here before you know it, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, Deep Space, for all my NFL updates. I'm going to be doing a live stream for the draft all day long. A couple hours before the draft, all during round 1 on Thursday, and then on day 2 of the draft. What's that? Round 2, round 3. So, yeah, TJ Sanders, man, looks really, really good. The Philadelphia Eagles just brought him in for a visit. So, he could be an interesting guy towards the end of the draft for the Eagles, and at the end of round 1, 32 overall. I don't know if how he's going to move up. He's got some ammo the next couple of years to move up in the draft, but I don't know. They brought in Trey Amos and TJ Sanders today on a visit. They also brought in guys like Donovan Ezeraku. They've been bringing in a lot of trenches guys, some cornerbacks. Not really any safeties, though. So I don't know what they're going to be doing. Yeah, I like Nick Scourton, too, man. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to value more of an edge rusher, or are they going to want to go that kind of outside linebacker edge type. Yes, Scourton, I like Derek Harmon too and Walter Nolan, but I don't know if they're going to be there at 32. I don't know if the Eagles are going to want to move up in round one. I think they might stick put in round one like they did last year with Quinyon Mitchell, and then potentially move up in round two. You know, it's going to cost you a lot less in round two to move up. And they got an absolute stud in Cooper DeJean, right? They could trade back, but I don't know if you want, like, it depends, like, what you get trading back. I think, you know, picking already at 32, you might want to stay and just make the pick because there are some holes on defense. They, like, got rid of a lot of guys, man. Josh Sweat's with Arizona now. You know, Milton Williams went to the Patriots. Darius Slay goes to the Steelers. You know, because they need some linebacker depth too. I want them to grab some off-ball linebacker help at some point. So, you know, and they have a lot of picks next year, the Eagles do. So I wouldn't mind using a couple of those compensatory picks next year for them to move up into the middle of the second round and get a stud, you know. They need a tight end as well. Maybe a young kid like Mason Taylor makes some sense because it doesn't look like the Eagles have any interest in re-signing Dallas Goedert to an extension, right? This is the last year of Dallas Goedert's contract, right? Yeah, I mean, the Eagles are going to have to eat some money to move on from him for sure. Because Bryce Huff just didn't work in that Fangio scheme at all whatsoever, right? So, you know, I'm not sure how that really... I don't know. He doesn't really have a lot of value right now, I don't think, but we'll see. Maybe you could flip him for like a 5th or 6th round pick and then eat some of the salary, maybe. Maybe they do something like that. That could be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if they traded Dallas Goedert at the draft either. You know, he has no guaranteed money left on his contract, so that could be interesting, yeah. Yeah, I saw that little headline today that Adam Schefter thinks the Eagles are going to make some moves, but we'll have to see. The value's got to be right. It all depends how the board plays out, right? If for the Eagles, if the board plays out in a way that a lot of running backs and quarterbacks and wide receivers go in the middle part of the draft, that'll be great for the Eagles, but I'm not necessarily sure that happens, right? So we'll have to see how the draft sets up for the Eagles. And they were patient last year, and it worked out really well for them. They didn't really have to give up too much to move up to get Cooper DeJean. And they were patient, and Quinyon Mitchell just fell right in their lap, you know. Quinyon Mitchell was great for the Philadelphia Eagles as a rookie. I expect him to have a solid career. You know, so sometimes the best moves to make in the draft, guys, are just being patient and just staying put and like letting the board fall to you and just trusting your board. I think that makes the most sense. And then now we have the Raiders at 6, guys. That could be really interesting. Do the Raiders go a big body wide receiver? They could go a running back like Ashton Genty. Or they could like really upgrade the D-line to go with Max Crosby. You know, they just cut one of their starting cornerbacks. So they could go corner early. Maybe a guy like Will Johnson from Michigan could make some sense. For the Raiders could really go a bunch of different places as well. Then you have the Jets at 7. I think the Jets go Armand Membu at 7. You know, you got Alu Fashanu from Penn State on the left tackle side. You bring in Fashanu, he's your right tackle, and then you're set at tackle for years to come, right? I think that's the way to go. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that's the way to go for the Jets, going Armand Membu. But I thought the Patriots really messed up, man, by signing Morgan Moses to a 3-year deal. I just thought that was so dumb. He was terrible last year with the Jets. I just don't understand that move at all whatsoever. I don't get why the Patriots want to bring in an old guy like Morgan Moses. I just don't get that move at all. Especially when there's a guy like Armand Membu available early in the draft. You're like, I don't get that I could see them bringing him in on a 1-year deal or something, right? But for them to bring a guy like Morgan Moses into the fold on a 3-year deal with a young roster that's turning over makes no sense to me. Yeah, I think the Jets at 7 go Membu. And And then 8, the Panthers. They're going to go defense. I could see them going Malachi Starks, Jody Barron, Jalen Walker, Jahad Campbell, one of those great early defenders in the draft for Carolina. Then 9, we got the Saints. I think the Saints could go wide receiver, right? Chris Olave with that concussion issue. They need another wide receiver bad. Yeah, I mean, I like Winston and Makuba too, Joel. Yeah, I do like them. Kevin Winston Jr. is an interesting guy. Some injury history there, but if he's healthy, the dude balls out, man. Another guy I like is Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame, the cornerback, guys. Super freaking talented, man. Super talented guy. I think whoever gets Ben Morrison's going to be a steal. I think if he doesn't get hurt this year with that hip injury, I think Ben Morrison is like a top 25 guy. I think he's that good. What's up, JFK? What's going on? We them boys. Oh, Deep State talking about Landon Jackson. He's like big as shit, super athletic. Yeah, I think you're talking about Landon Jackson. What's going on, JFK? Welcome to the chat, bro. Appreciate you guys tuning in, hanging out, talking some ball. Make sure you hit that like button. Help get this live stream out into the YouTube universe. We're talking some draft. We just went over the Panthers pick at number 8. Now we're on to the Saints at number 9. I think the Saints, they could go quarterback if Shedeur Sanders is on the board. Obviously, Derek Carr and Spencer Rattler last year were terrible, right? So I don't know if they go. I don't know what they do. But they could go quarterback. They could go wide receiver. I mean, they're another team that's just like best player available, But Olave's injury history with those concussions, man, definitely concerns me. And if Armand Membu's on the board, Ramczyk dealt with that big-time injury last year at right tackle, they could go Membu as well, Jalen, what's going on, bro? Welcome to the chat, man. Honestly, I didn't watch the NCAA finals. It was a pretty good game from like the little bit I read about it. But I didn't watch too much of the NCAA tournament. I've been like really cracking down on this draft, man. Just been doing a lot of tape study, watching the film and trying to break down these games and players for you guys. So as we get closer and closer to the draft, we're on the same page, right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Shedeur Sanders goes to the Browns, man. His dad has come out publicly saying he doesn't want his son to go play in Cleveland, right? And, like, if you're Cleveland, like, why do you want to open up those can of worms, right? I wouldn't want to deal with his dad. I just wouldn't want to do it. I think they're going to pass on him in the first round, I think they're going to take a guy like Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. I think that makes more sense. I definitely think that makes more sense for them to go get a blue chip prospect. I don't know if Shedeur Sanders' arm strength plays in the NFL. He doesn't got a ton of arm strength. It takes a lot of sacks. He is extremely accurate with the football, Great toughness. Comes from great pedigree, obviously, right? So, what's up, Donnie Four? What's going on? Welcome to the chat, man. Yeah, I think they're going to go Travis Hunter, man. His ability to be a top 3 guy at receiver and be a top 3 guy at cornerback is just so rare. We just have never seen that, ever. Where a guy is just like such a exceptional talent, right? Like a top 3 receiver. He's probably the number 1 receiver on the board, honestly. Travis Hunter's the number 1 wide receiver, and he's definitely a top 3 corner. So, like, to pass him to take Shedeur Sanders, I don't know if that's the best. Javonte Williams, I like him, I'm not sure how he plays out at the NFL level, with Javonte Williams, but we'll have to see. I got to do a little more tape study on him before I can give you, like, a real critique on him, man. But, yeah, and then we got the Bears at 10, right? The Bears are really interesting. They revamped that whole offensive line. They could go safety. A guy like Malachi Starks would make some sense for the Bears. Linebacker makes some sense for the Bears too, you know. Or a running back, you know, getting a bell cow back like Genty or a Marion Hampton. If Genty goes off the board early, I still could see the Bears going to Marion Hampton. Oh, no, there's no way he plays 120 snaps. No way. Yeah, I'm not saying that. But, you know, if he's the number one wide receiver, you know, he gets 10, 12 targets a game, and then you throw in like 30, 40 snaps on defense, maybe like a lot of third down packages for Travis Hunter. That makes a lot of sense, man. That could make a lot of sense, you know. But, like, I still think he's probably the number one receiver on the board. So, like, on most people's boards, like, Shedeur Sanders is, like, in the 50s, right? So, like, you're going to take a guy who's, like, you know, if you look at last year's draft, he'd be, like, the 6th or 7th quarterback on the board, right? Shedeur Sanders would have been. You know, and then you add Cam Ward, he's probably 7 or 8 off the board if Cam Ward and him were in last year's draft class. So are you going to take a guy like that, 7 or 8 on the board from last year's picks? I don't know. They didn't take a quarterback last year. Yeah, I'm going to be live streaming like all day, Donnie Four. I'm going to like go hard, man. I'm going to be ordering cheesesteaks, some hoagies. I'm going to be doing it right. I might get some wings. Yeah, I'm going to do it up, man. We're going to do a lot of pre-draft coverage. I'm going to cover the whole first round. I'm really excited for the draft, man. We did a draft day live stream last year, too. It worked out pretty good, man. I was stoked when the Eagles took Quinyon Mitchell. I was losing my mind. Who would have thought, man? We got that Super Bowl run that we did. It was a great run by the Birds, but I'm already ready for football. I'm like, summer hasn't even started yet, and I'm already for the fall. I'm ready for some football, man. But yeah, after the draft happens in a couple weeks, there's not much going on in the football world for a little while. Yeah, Terrion Arnold struggled this year, man, for Detroit. You know, Quinyon Mitchell is just a way better prospect, bigger, more physical. You know, he's just a way better player, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm glad they got Quinyon Mitchell over Terrion Arnold as well. Yeah, Quinyon Mitchell was so good last year as a rookie. And in year 2, he's going to be even better. And if you think about it, like, he gets to go against Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown every day. So it's just like iron sharpens iron. The cheesesteak game, there's a few places that the cheesesteaks are pretty good. Actually, Jersey Mike's doesn't make a bad cheesesteak for a chain. You know, they're not bad. I actually make cheesesteaks a lot myself. I'll like go to there's like this little like Ranch 99 market. It's like this Asian market, and they slice ribeye super thin. So I could go grab my onions and some American cheese and the super thin ribeye and just grill it up myself, man. But the hoagies are okay. I mean, they're not like, I mean, the food in Philly is just like, if you want like hoagies and cheesesteaks and shit like that, LA's not really your, LA's more like Korean barbecue and like Mexican food, a lot of Asian food. Like the food scene in LA is dope, but like cheesesteaks and hoagies and sandwiches isn't really their bag, you know? But the food out here is good. If you like sushi, yo, LA's the best for sushi, man. Some of the best sushi I ever had here in LA. But there's a couple like Philly food trucks popping around town. I live like right by UCLA. So there's a lot of food. There's a solid food truck game not too far from here, man. Yeah, I mean, what up, Sam? Welcome to the chat, man. Yeah, it was one of the better NCAA championship games we've ever seen, right? Came down to the wire. It's like the first year in a long time NCAA fans have like seen like the best teams make it all the way. It was like the first time in a long time that like 4 number ones made it to the Final Four, right? Me too, Donnie. Dude, I always ask for extra ginger, man. I'm right there with you, Donnie. And they make the crispy rice with the spicy tuna out here, bro. It's so good. There's this place in Beverly Hills me and my wife always go to. Dude, the best spicy tuna I ever had. It's so freaking good. Yeah, I could eat that shit all day long, man. But yeah, man, I'm ready for the draft. Yeah, I think the Bears could go running back at 10, and then 49ers at 11. The 49ers got to go offensive line, right? 49ers, I mean, the defense got destroyed too, so we could go definitely like a safety. The D-line and edges, they've been decimated. It's like Nick Bosa and nobody else for the 49ers. Yeah, I just love ginger, man. I just like ginger all the way. I'm a big ginger guy. I like it to clean my palate, but I could just eat that. That pickled ginger is like, I just like eat it as a snack, man. And see, I know, but just because it's not supposed to doesn't mean I can't enjoy it. I just love pickled ginger. I like keep it in my fridge and just like eat it as a snack all the time. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the 49ers are going to be terrible this year. If they win over 7 games, I'll be surprised. Right? That whole defense got blown up. Hufanga's gone. Dre Greenlaw's gone. Deebo Samuel's gone. Everybody's gone, man. Hell yeah, I like deviled eggs, man. You know it. Yeah, man, I'll fuck with some deviled eggs. Faux show. Put a little paprika over there. Yeah, ginger's not for everyone. It's definitely an acquired taste. Wings, pizza, and deviled eggs, huh? That's a sweet combo. But yeah, I've been like making my wings. I go to Costco and get like the, 50 pack of wings, bro. I've been doing the wings in the air fryer on like 400, dude. That's the way to roll. They get crispy as hell, and then you toss them in the butter and the freaking hot sauce, dude. It's banging, man. That's the way to roll. That is the way to roll. But yeah, and I like the Koji sauce has like the teriyaki wings that are really good too. The teriyaki sauce, oh man, the teriyaki wings were banging. Ooh, man, Joel, that sounds so good right now. Ginger lemon honey tea, dude, that sounds delicious right now, man. I need to go back to the crib and do that up for sure. That sounds super good. All right, guys, I'm going to go pick up my daughter from volleyball, so I'll catch up with you guys on the next live stream. I'm out. I'm going to go get some of that lemon honey tea, bro. Later, guys. Peace. Don't forget to subscribe.